I love black. I will always be a fan of the color black and wearing it over and over again, but I do sometimes get tired of it as I get deeper into the fall and winter season. Maybe you're like me. So today I thought I would share 6 fall outfits that have no black in them, not even the accessories. I'm doing this because I do get tired of pairing my clothes the same way, so I'm hoping this is a good creative challenge, and I hope it's a good creative challenge for you too, and it just gives you some ideas to work with the non-black items in your closet. This challenge doesn't mean that we have to go out and buy color or that we have to just have a lot of color in our closet, but it is a good way to inject some interest into some of our old favorite outfits and just get us thinking a bit differently about what we already have. It's no secret, I don't own a lot of color, so I'm doing today's video in partnership with Fabrique. They are helping me out a little bit with some interesting neutrals that aren't black and some beautiful, colorful pieces. If you've never heard of Fabrique, they're really interesting. They are what you call a collective designer brand. So this means that they collaborate with independent designers from around the world and they put them all in one spot and they create exclusive pieces. I like that I'm able to discover both emerging and veteran designers this way and support this independent work. The collections are all limited editions, really well edited, and I like that I can also find them all in one place. I've been really impressed with the construction and the quality behind these garments. This beautiful asymmetric sweater. I just love the neckline, how it's a little bit adjustable. It's got this kind of shawl detail. It still feels really interesting and sexy, even though it's a knit. I am all about sweaters that look like they could go like out at night, that they could still be sexy, but they're still warm and cozy. This is like the beautiful sweet spot. So this sweater is a wool blend, feels beautiful on the skin. It was designed by Martina Albasini, and she used to be a designer for Max Mara and Louis Jo. So I will leave links for the Fabrique items in the description box below. I also have a discount code, so I will leave that in the description box below, along with some more details about Fabrique. So let's get into it. For those of us who love suiting, that means we are in a monochromatic look, but rather than going for something that is head to toe black, which is really easy to do in the fall, even when we have black separates, we can easily whip up a suit. But this wool suit from Fabrique is actually a really, really beautiful option. If you still want something that has that kind of cozy fall gravitas and moody feeling, but you don't want to wear all black, then this is a really neat option. The designer here for this suit is Solal Fabre. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And he was a designer at Tod's, Women's Ready to Wear, and also Hermes. The suit is wool. The lining is synthetic, but it is lined all the way through the sleeve. So the construction is great. It's like in the style of current suiting that we're seeing now, the kind of a little bit oversized, like there's not too much tailoring. I wanted to give this a try and I wanted to show you what a chocolate brown sort of whole suit would look like. I've styled it with nothing underneath because there's already so much volume and bulk here in the jacket that I thought showing that little bit of skin, the V-neck is good. Still appropriate though, it's not like a super deep V. And to challenge myself further, I did not go with my black or even my nude pump. I actually went with a olive pump. Navy, brown, grays, these kind of non-neutral neutrals, pair them with another non-neutral neutral. Or for example, another color option that goes with a nice deep chocolate brown would be like a really cool deep burgundy. It would almost look like a little bit tonal, but I just wanted to show you what the olive and the chocolate brown can kind of do. It just softens the chocolate brown and it also feels a lot less predictable. Here's another way to take the color that exists in your wardrobe and style it for fall in a not predictable, i.e. not wearing black way. And I've just separated the suit that I had, and I've only got the brown trousers. Paired it with this mint green cardigan. It's like a seafoam green, kind of pastel. I don't mind the way pastels look with black, but it is kind of a harsh contrast. Feels a little bit retro, which I like. This feels nice and earthy. It feels really chill. It feels a little bit unexpected. And for the shoes, I kind of wanted to use the little sandwich with like a light color on top. The brown kind of grounds the look, and then going with another lighter pastel on the bottom. This is actually just a nude sort of blush color, but it's patent, so it's got a bit of that shine. So I think what's cool in this look is not only the color combination is a little bit like off and unpredictable, which I really like, but also the shoe combination gives not only that sandwich rule, light, dark, and light, but the patent, the shine, adds a really interesting texture. And I could see this look going from day at the office to night as well. I think it's really elegant. It's really easy. You could also do this with like a cool flat or a loafer if you wanted. That would look really good. I wanted to share with you an idea for mixing complementary colors. So that's two colors on opposite end of the color wheel. When we think of mixing two opposing colors, we immediately think brights, bold, color blocking, sort of the opposite of subtlety. But if you are someone who likes a more subdued look, but you like that creative aspect of mixing different colors, then this could be an interesting sort of color combination. So I have two different colors that are sitting opposite each other on the color wheel. We've got like a teal blue opposite gold. So if these colors were in their purest form, it would be, let's say, blue and yellow. Totally different. But what we've done here is these colors are shades of the original color. And a shade is when you add black to a color. So I would say this is like a blue or a turquoise with black added to it. And this beautiful marigold color is like a yellow maybe with black added to it. So we're still getting the interesting contrast of two colors opposite each other on the color wheel, but it's subtle, it's subdued, it's not in your face. Not to mention the whole thing is in really soft and easy, like touchable fabrics. This is another Fabrique creation. The fabric is so comfortable. The fit is great. I'm wearing a small. Normally I wear like a 26 in denim. I'm also about 5'6", so you can see the length on me. It's definitely a midi skirt. It's this beautiful velvety, it is a synthetic, but the pile is really short, so it's got this beautiful hand feel. And what's interesting about this combination is that this skirt kind of does the work for you in terms of adding interest, because it's got this like beautiful gradient ombre cream that comes up at the bottom. So we're creating a lot of really nice interest here at the bottom of the skirt, and that allowed me to make a little bit of like an odd or off shoe choice with the olive shoe. If we had paired this complementary color combination, we immediately think, okay, my outfit is interesting, it's loud-ish, so I'm gonna go with a shoe that is like really neutral. Or when we're working with colors like this, it can feel like, shoot, now I need a color that matches. But no, you don't. No, you don't, my friends. I'm here to tell you this is where you can go a little wild. Although you would look at this and it would not scream wild. But the olive shoe is definitely kind of like an off choice. The reason why the olive shoe works is that we have this nice bright cream break. But even if we didn't, the gold and the olive work beautifully together. And that's because the olive and the gold are very similar. They're close to each other on the color wheel. The shoe is blending in with the bottom of the look, even though we've got this really great cream break. What the eye is really registering here is this interesting contrast of color and this interesting contrast of color. That's plenty to look at. I don't want to introduce a color that is outside of either of these. Not the most groundbreaking outfit, it, but I did want to show how denim can also be its own color if you're working with something interesting like this blazer. This is the other half of that Roderic Wong suit where I had the pencil skirt. So I've broken them up because I wanted to maximize the use of those pieces for today's video. If you are, again, someone who doesn't like a ton of color, then if you've got a blazer or a jacket or a third piece, I really like pairing it with a denim because in this case, I'm not seeing the denim as a neutral here. I'm seeing it as the complementary color to the gold. It's got these really cool covered buttons, which I especially like if we're playing with color because the buttons don't add an extra element of color or hardware. It keeps that beautiful gradient color and the fabric and the texture of the coat itself. That seems to be the star of the show. Here I'm just pulling the cream from the blazer, so I've kept a cream shirt underneath. I want the blazer to be the star of the show and this sort of interesting color combination. I also like this sort of texture play, the rougher denim with something that feels really luxurious and soft like velvet. And with the shoes, I tried this with my loafer because I thought the brown from the loafer would really pull nicely from the browns in this. But even if these loafers, like a lot of us have a black shoe or a black flat, see how the dark, the heaviness of this shoe, it really pulls focus from the beautiful lightness of the blazer. Like I just feel like now there's too much to look at. That's why I went with the flat because it's a navy blue. All it does is blends in beautifully with the denim. Doesn't pull focus, doesn't give the eye something else to look at. It's really cohesive, certainly more interesting than a black shoe. I also just wanted to show you what it looked like with a boot in case you're in a colder climate. Similar to the navy flat, I chose a boot that blended in with the whole look. Yes, it is a contrast to the denim, but they're a similar saturation and also the boot is kind of like a beige, so it still blends in with the whole look. I wanted to show a look that pulls color from a print. This plaid skirt has some greens, some blues, some yellow, and of course some black. I wanted to start by trying a total red look. So I put on my vintage button-up shirt, but it wasn't really realistic for me to only wear the red button-up in the winter or in the fall. Like it's not cozy and warm enough. So I added another layer. It's covering up the red a little bit, but I think the cream still works with this. It's pulling from the lighter yellow. Also, the cream is a neutral, so I'm kind of grounding the whole look with that. It's very high contrast, but I think it's still kind of interesting. The sweater with the crop works with the length of the shirt because we've got the red and the red. If we wanted to tidy it up, it looks a lot cleaner. Having that red shirt untucked is cool and like interesting. Perhaps if I was cooler, that's what I would go with, but this just feels a little bit like neater, a more like nod to mod, preppy a little bit. And it works with the brown boots. When you're pulling colors from a print, try to go with something a little bit more unexpected. This final look I wanted to share is pulling from a color in the skirt that isn't black. So there is a little bit of blue in this skirt. This is definitely a busier color combination. Mixing and playing with color and getting outside of that black comfort zone can also include prints. And these are two very classic prints. A lot of us probably already have some combination of stripes or plaid in our closet. And because they're both so classic, because they're both linear, the eye isn't competing too much. Yes, it's a busier look. Yes, it's not for everybody, but it does still work in a really interesting way. The blue grounds the two, and so do those lines on both. And I think the brown still works really well here. I would go for a brown bag. It kind of ties in with the brown boots. No, they're not the exact same, but I think introducing another color like a black, it would be a little bit too heavy. The other color that would work here would be navy blue. You could also go with a red, I think. Even if you wanted to pull and be really adventurous, you could pull from the yellow. So either you blend and you minimize the accessories as much as possible with this, or you go a little bit wild and you create a focal point. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if it gets gets you thinking a little bit more about the non-black items in your closet. Not that there's anything wrong with those. You know I love black, I always will, but just hopefully it gets you thinking a little bit differently about the items that you already own. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if you learned something new. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. A huge thank you again to Fabrique for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget I've got that discount code down below, and do keep an eye on that community tab for any giveaway details. Thank you so much for watching. It's always a pleasure that you are here, and I will see you in the next slow fashion video. Ciao!